Hi, I'm Lindsay, and I was diagnosed with celiac disease when I was 16 years old. I started getting sick for a few months, and I kind of knew something was up, but I kept going to the doctor. My mom kept emailing my doctor, and I just wasn't getting any better. My doctor, I remember, told me to go dairy-free, and I did that. But nothing ever crossed my mind about gluten, really, until I had to get a blood test. So I ended up getting a blood test, and turns out that I was positive for celiac disease. And then to get officially diagnosed, I also had to get an endoscopy. Celiac disease is an autoimmune condition that basically occurs when a person, such as me, has a gene that one day suddenly activates. And it can be activated through things like stress or a stomach bug that your body can't really handle, or like eating excessive amounts of gluten, I think is another one. And for me, I don't really know what happened. It just seemed to have flipped sometime during COVID-19, during the pandemic. And of course, that meant that I had to go completely gluten-free for the rest of my life. Gluten is anything that contains wheat, rye, or barley, and when I eat it, my stomach attacks it. The inside of my intestines really does not know what gluten is, or it does, it just thinks it's a thing that needs to be attacked. Wish I could tell it otherwise, because I don't know how that got confused. Somehow that gene flipped, and they have not been happy with the gluten ever since. There is no medicine or medication that you can take to get rid of celiac disease. It's just eating completely gluten-free. A lot of people really disrespect my boundaries. I mean, I understand it, but they start acting like I'm a doctor and telling me their symptoms. And it can be kind of concerning. And I just let them know, hey, I'm not a doctor, but you might need to get that checked out. Through the years, I've kind of figured out how to better navigate my life as a celiac. It is hard. Nobody is out here thinking that this stuff is easy. And there's a big difference between people who do it for their preference and people who are celiac like me. Although I am grateful for those who have done gluten-free diets, because those people are essentially putting us on the map and making any gluten-free dish more accessible to us. It's also a little different because although they might have a gluten-free diet, they could still ingest gluten and be okay for the most part. When a celiac eats gluten, it can be a tiny little bit, and it can hurt. It can hurt the inside of your stomach. It can hurt the inside of your intestines. The difference is somebody who just says that they're gluten intolerant or just doing it by choice, they can still do cross-contamination. You know, they don't have to fear that they're going to get sick as much as a celiac does. Although, again, it's very nice that we have those people helping us out. The big thing that I've noticed is that going to restaurants has been kind of a struggle. It's hard because in a kitchen where you can't see anything being prepared, you don't know if you're going to be safe after anything you eat. Sometimes I'll walk into a restaurant and they'll act like, yes, we totally have stuff for you to eat. And then I sit down and I look, and it's all things that I'm questionable about and that I'm like a little nervous about. Anybody who has celiac knows it's really rough, especially in the beginning because you're grieving everything. And don't get me wrong, I'm still grieving. I miss Big Macs still, and those were like disgusting. It gets better, and you really discover who in your life cares about you and who is willing to take extra steps just to ensure that you're okay. Getting diagnosed with celiac may seem like the end of the world, but I'm alive, I'm living, and it has been a roller coaster, but you find joy in the best things. I recently discovered a completely gluten-free bakery near my school, and I have never been so grateful in my life. Advocating for yourself is awkward, but you need to be taken care of just as much as anyone else. And you deserve to eat just as much as anyone else. All right, bye now.